This message comes from Doctors Without Borders. This year has seen unprecedented crises. Now more than ever, Doctors Without Borders patients need them. Visit doctorswithoutborders.org/NPR to learn how to donate.
We are in a moment for pop music right now where there are so many young women making music that reflects how women are talking about dating these days, which is quite pessimistic. I think that the reception to some of the I love my man so much elements of the Taylor Swift album is evidence.
I'm glad you brought up Taylor Swift.
You're glad? I was like, I regretted that. No, go ahead. Sorry.
If there's one thing you might take away from listening to some of the top songs on the charts lately, it's that the pop girlies are sick of men. Here's a snippet from Sabrina Carpenter's Man-Child. And here's Olivia Dean's Man I Need. Okay, different vibes, but you could argue that these ideas, ranging from men are trash and men need to do better to please come through for me, please step up, are cut from a similar cloth. And NPR music editor Hazel Sills told me that this trend has a name: heteropessimism.
Heteropessimism is basically the phenomenon of expressing embarrassment or fatigue about being a heterosexual. It was also coined in 2019 by the writer Asa Seresin in an article for The New Inquiry. It often comes up, at least I see, in conversations from straight women around, their feelings about being in a heterosexual relationship.
And these different approaches coincide with a pretty significant shift in women's mindsets when it comes to romantic love. For instance, earlier this year, I saw so much chatter about a Wall Street Journal article titled, "Are Women Giving Up on Marriage?" We even discussed it on this very show. It was basically about how more women are choosing to be single. So I had to know, how has this strain of heteropessimism made its way into the top 40? And what does it say about where heterosexual women are broadly with romance? Editor for NPR Music, Hazel Sills, is here to break it all down for us.
Thank you for having me.
Well, buckle up, y'all, because whether you're straight, queer, or anything in between, we are here to complain with you. Hello. I'm Brittany Luce, and you're listening to It's Been a Minute from NPR, a show about what's going on in culture and why it doesn't happen by accident. We're going to get into all of it in a minute, but first, I'm not going to lie. It's been a tough year for NPR and our local stations. But despite the loss of federal funding for public media and despite attacks on the free press, we are still here for you. And we will never shy away from exercising the critical right to editorial independence guaranteed by the First Amendment. And with your support, we will not be silent. If you're already an NPR Plus supporter, thank you so much. I see you, and I'm grateful. If not, please join the community of public radio supporters right now, before the end of the year, at plus.npr.org. Signing up unlocks a bunch of perks, like bonus episodes and more from across NPR's podcasts. Plus, you get to feel good about supporting public media while you listen. End the year on a high note and invest in a public service that matters to you. Visit plus.npr.org today. And I left you a link in the description of this episode. And, of course, thank you. I wonder what makes this moment different from sort of previous iterations of Men Are Trash. Even just thinking one example off the top of my head, not to sound like a really annoying millennial and rather hyperbolic about it, but there are specific Destiny's Child lyrics that are burned into my brain.
Yeah.
No,
yeah. No, it's interesting. So you bring up Destiny's Child. I think that this moment is sort of similar to the past, but also different. So when I hear this group of young women singing about relationships, I am reminded of that late 90s, early 2000s era of R&B when we got like Say My Name, we got No Scrubs, we got It's Not Right But It's Okay, we got like
No, He Wasn't Man Enough.
Yes. Sorry, I'm like screaming. I'm like
no. That's the proper reaction to that song.
I'm like, yes. And because there was kind of that like girl power streak, in the late 90s where you had these women who were, writing these just amazingly brutal kiss-off songs to these guys who were just like cheating on them, or they were broke and, they weren't quality. They weren't stepping up. But I do think that this moment is different to me because when I hear these songs, I don't hear you're dead to me because you cheated on me. You're not cool because you're broke. Like, I hear women who are writing very specifically about like inequality in their relationships. So there's another song that came out this year by the R&B artist Summer Walker called No. Yes. And I think this is a very, very highly underrated song, no matter what you feel about her album Finally Over It. I think this song is really good. But in the song, she's basically like, I'm not going to slave over, the stove to make dinner for you, and I'm not going to deprioritize myself in this relationship. Like, you need to get used to hearing the word no. Like, that is not a song where she's like, we're breaking up. That is a song where she's like, things need to change. And I think that this moment is different because I think, we're in this moment right now where women are more aware than ever of those inequities in their relationships. Like, you guys did an episode earlier this year about, women not getting married. Why aren't they getting married? And it's because, women are more educated these days. Like, sometimes they're more financially well off than their male partners in the dating pool. And so I think we're in this moment where women are, more choosier about their partners and are sort of becoming radicalized to what a healthy relationship looks like. It feels like a moment in pop music where women have really internalized all of this rhetoric and conversation about, what gender roles should be in a heterosexual relationship and what labor should be, emotional or otherwise. And yeah, it's making its way up the charts. It's like in our pop hits.
I'm glad you brought up that song No by Summer Walker, because it's, if I'm not mistaken, either samples or it has an interpolation of Yes by Beyonce, which the song was like, first time I said no is like I never said yes, is how the lyric goes in that song. It's a much more traditional song. I think it's more about like not wanting to move forward physically in a relationship, which when you talk about No by Summer Walker, it feels like it really does feel like there's not just a thematic sort of building upon that previous moment of girl power and sort of like, pushing back on the men from like 25 years ago, but it also is like a very like literal, it's like building upon it musically, very literally.
Yeah, it's like, who doesn't love, a great song about how boys are trash? Like, it's a classic. But I think a lot of these women, they're almost writing like mini think pieces in a way in these songs. Like, I think that they are very aware of the online discourse. Sabrina Carpenter is very savvy at this as well, where it's like, if we're talking about, this kind of trend online and in culture are, complaining about how their boyfriend is so annoying, then it is in their best interest, right, to record a song, that women can then, pick up kind of like as their own anthem and like overlay it on their TikTok videos.
Right.
I do think these women are, writing from their own experiences and they're having fun with it. But I do think that there is, a benefit to kind of like cashing in on this trend. Like, it's like, it feels like a response to what women are talking about and what they care about right now.
Coming up.
To me, it really does feel like a turning point in this trend and into a like, well, here is what I need.
More with Hazel after the break.
This message comes from BetterHelp. As a dad, BetterHelp President Fernando Madera relates to needing flexibility when it comes to scheduling therapy.
I have kids under 18, so like time is very limited. That's why at BetterHelp, our therapists try to have sessions sometimes at night, depending on the therapist, or during the weekend. So I think that's what we need to tell the parents. You're not alone. We can help you out.
If a flexible schedule would help you, visit betterhelp.com/NPR for 10% off your first month of online therapy. This message comes from Doctors Without Borders. Now more than ever, the world is in crisis. Communities cut off from care, children facing starvation, families displaced. Doctors Without Borders is on the ground, providing medical care, delivering aid, and saving lives wherever the needs are greatest. Doctors Without Borders patients need them, and your support powers their life-saving care. Learn how to donate at doctorswithoutborders.org/NPR.
This message comes from Jerry. Many people are overpaying on car insurance. Why? Switching providers can be a pain. Jerry helps make the process painless. Jerry is the only app that compares rates from over 50 insurers in minutes and helps you switch fast with no spam calls or hidden fees. Drivers who save with Jerry could save over $1,300 a year. Before you renew your car insurance policy, download the Jerry app or head to jerry.ai/NPR.
This message comes from Kachava. Indulge in holiday cravings with the nutrition you need from Kachava's all-in-one whole body shake. It packs 25 grams of protein, 6 grams of fiber, greens, and more. High-quality ingredients with no fillers or nonsense. Try the newest flavor, limited edition chocolate mint. Go to Kachava.com and use code NPR for 15% off. That's Kachava, KACHAVA.com, code NPR.
In an article for NPR Music, you actually compare the pop musings of starlets like Sabrina Carpenter and Olivia Rodrigo with Olivia Dean, who, just to keep things straight, because I know we introduced two Olivias to you all. Olivia Dean is a Afro-Caribbean British songstress who we actually have had on this show before. Thank you very much. And she kind of makes sort of pop that feels a little upbeat and nice and easy and is very much about love. And Olivia Rodrigo, who's like a bit younger, American, and makes music that is so reminiscent for me of like the sort of stuff that I liked when the kind of pop punk that was really popular when I was in middle school or high school. But yeah, what makes Sabrina Carpenter and Olivia Rodrigo's sort of shade of heteropessimism different or kind of related to Olivia Dean's?
Yeah, I think Sabrina Carpenter and Olivia Rodrigo, they're sort of operating from this stance of like, boys can kick rocks. It's very Sabrina Carpenter is especially really good at this. Whether you love her or hate her, she is always kind of skewering men in her music and telling them how stupid they are, how they're not living up to her expectations. She has a huge hit this year called Man Child, which is basically, the message of it is like, she's telling a guy, why can you not do anything yourself? Like, why do I have to do everything for you? Why do I have to always pick up after you? Olivia Dean's song is really fascinating to me because, especially coming out in the same year as a song like Man Child, they're kind of expressing at their core the same request, which is like, can you step up to the plate? Like, can you be the man that I need you to be? And Olivia Dean is doing it with this real kind of earnesty and like sweetness. And
there's real sincerity.
Yeah, she's like, can you please like open up to me? Like, can you please be, the person that I need in a relationship? And so it really is like, those two songs for me this year are like two very fascinating sides of the same coin.
We hear a lot about what these singers don't like, right? Or what they feel like their partners are lacking, to put it a little bit more softly, as some songwriters have been doing. What have they said that they do like in their partners?
When Sabrina Carpenter sings in Man Child about how, a guy can't do anything right for her, she also has a line in that song where she's like, I like my men all incompetent, which kind of complicates that song, right? I think Olivia Rodrigo's song from a few years ago, Get Him Back, that's a song about all the things she doesn't like about a guy. But it's also kind of like she kind of does like a little bit of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like that to the title. It's like, does she want to get him back as in like give him his just desserts, or does she want to get him back as in like get him back into her life? Yeah.
Yeah, and I think like the Olivia Dean song, Man I Need, is probably, to me, it really does feel like a turning point in this trend and into a like, well, here is what I need. And she needs her partner to open up to her. She needs intimacy. She is saying the things that she needs.
One last question. How do you see this trend continuing, or do you see it letting up in any way?
I don't see it letting up. I feel like it's going to continue, but I think it's going
until conditions improve.
Well, to answer your question, whenever men get better, this trend will end. No, I think it'll continue, but I think it will continue to transform. I think that maybe it's going to change and be a little bit softer, because the thing about so much of these songs, it's like, it's not like I want to be single forever. It's like, I really want to make this work. Like, I want love. I want a relationship, but I have to do it in this weird world with these options. And so I see it continuing because, as you said, heterosexual relationships, still not perfect. Still a lot of work to be done outside of music. And so as long as that's the reality, like, I think that this music is going to be irrelevant.
Well, Hazel, I have learned so much in this conversation. Thank you so much for coming on and talking with us about this. This has been a joy.
Thank you for having me.
That was NPR music editor Hazel Sills. Her article, While the Pop Girls Skewer Boys, Olivia Dean's Man I Need Has Hope, is on the NPR website right now. So lately, I've been ending the show by asking all of you to rate and review this show. And oh my gosh, have you shown up? The ratings are going up and more people are following the show. One of you wrote that this is, quote, such a magical podcast. Another one of you said that this show made you start listening to podcasts for the first time. Let's keep the momentum going and keep growing this community. Help out by rating or reviewing the show wherever you're listening. And thank you so much. This episode of It's Been a Minute was produced by
Alexis Williams.
This episode was edited by
Aaron Edwards.
Our supervising producer is
Barton Girdwood.
Our executive producer is
Verilyn Williams.
Our VP of programming is
Yolanda Sanguini.
All right, that's all for this episode of It's Been a Minute from NPR. I'm Brittany Luce. Talk soon.
This message comes from NPR sponsor LinkedIn Sales Navigator. Finding the right leads can feel like an endless search for sellers. What if you could get to the right conversations faster? From finding new leads to strengthening existing relationships, LinkedIn Sales Navigator is your strategic AI-powered partner. It cuts through the noise with real-time data and insights backed by LinkedIn's network of over 1 billion professionals. Try it free for 60 days at linkedin.com/NPR. That's linkedin.com/NPR. Terms and conditions apply. This message comes from Schwab. Everyone has moments when they could have done better. Same goes for where you invest. Level up and invest smarter with Schwab. Get market insights, education, and human help when you need it. This message comes from Greenlight. Parents say financial literacy is the hardest life skill to teach. Greenlight's debit card and money app for families makes it easy for kids to learn to earn, save, and spend wisely. Start today, risk-free at greenlight.com/NPR.